Welcome back to another episode of the Seezoned crew. This is our first episode of 2025, so we're really excited to have you with us here. We have a lot of exciting things planned this year. To start off the year, we wanted to dive a little bit deeper into our AI virtual assistant, Seezar. And, you know, we were always asking the question of like, how do we create a virtual assistant that solves real world problems, is able to connect with people, and stands out in a very crowded, I think, space. So today we're being joined by none other than our Director of Product Solutions and Integrations, Nader Dagher. Nader, nice to have you with us today.
Nice to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
So if you want, maybe we can just do quick intros. I think that would be nice.
Sure.
So if you guys don't recognize me, hi, I'm Jad Namani. I'm the Director of Marketing at Seez. Been working with Seez for a few years now. I manage all the marketing that happens on the team, including this podcast. Nader, what do you do?
I've been with Seez for almost 7 years now. I've been with them since the start. Well, I originally joined as head of design, but slowly I shifted more towards the product side of things and dived deeper into tech. And now I'm like Director of Product Solutions and Integrations. So anything that has to do with kind of coming up with the solutions that support our offerings, and at the same time, all our third-party integrations that kind of help us expand and scale faster. And currently, most of my focus has been on Seezar, our AI solution, which I think we're gonna dive deeper into today.
100%. And I think where to start there is like, how did, I'm involved in this, right? But how did we as a company, how did we come up with, okay, like this is something that we want to dive into. What's motivated the creation of Seezar from your perspective? If you can share your thoughts, and then like, what are we trying to address as well? Like,
yeah, definitely. So probably not a lot of people know, but Seez was one of the very early companies that actually started to dive into AI, but it wasn't recognized as AI back then. We were one of the first companies to use NLP and ML to create this kind of chatbot that was negotiating with car sellers on your behalf. And that was back when Seez was more of an aggregator. So people, you wanted to buy a car, we had a chatbot that would go and start a conversation with the dealer or with the seller, try to bring down the price for you. And all that was we're talking like 2016, 2017, that's pre-AI. And then as we moved on and kind of started to shift into different kind of products and offerings, as we opened a marketplace in Denmark and as we started selling kind of digital e-commerce solutions, we realized there's a huge need in the customer support side of things, because we as a company started to experience the need to have people to support the users buying the cars from us. And given our huge experience in the automotive industry and experience in the AI world and the emergence of solutions and LLMs like GPT and so on, we found that this would be a great opportunity,
100%.
especially post-COVID, like when people started doing more of their kind of needs online. This need had to be filled, and we saw a lot of AI solutions being put out there very quickly, not very clean. We wanted to build something that was kind of for the market of automotive, strictly for it, tailored for it. So that was how we came up with wanting to do Seezar.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of interesting things there. As we had a chatbot called Seezar like 8 years ago,
100%.
As part of the marketplace app that we had here in the GCC, and now it's like evolved, right? So, and we've always been investing like our time and efforts into making sure, like, you know, so it's like we have previous experience.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So what about, I think early on, what did we feel like were the most essential features? What were people asking for in terms of customers, I think, and in terms of dealerships, right? So our relationship mostly is with the dealerships, but we cater to their customers, right?
100%.
And we want to make sure that their experience is the best that it could possibly be. So what determined, or what were the first essential features that we felt were needed on Seezoned?
As you said, we're catering for two sides here. We're catering for the dealer, we're catering for their end users. The dealer as a dealer eventually wants not every dealer has the finances to hire a 24/7 customer support or even a day shift customer support. But their end goal was like, I want to be able to generate as many leads as possible. Like, I want to know what my customers are looking for. I want to be able to guide them in the right direction. I want to be able to have their information so I can take that offline or maybe online and sell them the car they want, or get them to service their car with me. So what we wanted to offer the dealers was this tool that 24/7, 365 days of the year takes care of that. Whatever time you come on the website, there's someone who's going to help you find your car, who's going to tell you where to find any information you need on the website, who's going to take your information, who's going to label you as a lead, and all of that goes into the back-end system where the dealer can just go and see, oh, this is how many leads I collected today, and now I can just slowly start to convert them. But also on the user side of things, a user wants, no one likes decision tree chatbots. We've all been on websites where you go in, like, you just have to click on stuff and then you have to wait for it to give you more options. It doesn't give you the freedom of saying exactly what you want, right? You have to follow exactly what they offer. So what we wanted to offer those end users there is the freedom for conversational, human-like conversational support, where you come and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, right? And it could be a complex query, and it could be a simple question. I want to service my car. I want to book a test drive. I'm looking for an SUV. I'm looking for a sedan. I want a black car. And like, right? So those things aren't usually offered by kind of the conventional support systems. So these are kind of the main things we focused on, and we kind of tried as much as possible to make it seem as less robotic as possible. That's what
I think you, like, my next question was going to be like, what is like the typical chatbot, and why do we call ours an AI virtual assistant? I think you already described
exactly.
it. You can go into a little bit more detail, like the decision tree stuff, and it doesn't feel natural and like stuff like that, right? So can you tell me a little bit more about that distinction?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like a chatbot, I mean, the chatbot is a word very widely used, and I think it's sometimes misused. It's sometimes misused when not everything is a bot. A bot is like kind of, do this, do that, do this, do that, and like these are the only things you can do. As we said, decision trees. If someone lands on page, you have to show them only these options. They can only click on these options. You can only offer them this after that.
Exactly.
And that's kind of very limiting.
There's no thinking. It's just
100%.
like, there you go. Like, you have to follow the logic, right?
The reason why we kind of refer to Seezar as an AI virtual assistant, because it's there to assist you regardless of what you want. You have the freedom to ask whatever you want. I mean, we're gonna go probably deeper into details on what Seezar is capable of, but it's gonna, let's say, guide you or hold your hand as you go through your kind of requests in the website. We're not gonna limit you. We're not gonna tell you this is the only thing you can do. And
we're not gonna bombard you with lead asking questions.
We're not gonna ask you, hey, like, give me your name, give me your phone number,
and then I'll answer your
minutes.
question. Give me your name, give me your phone number, and
that's a very important point. Like, we as part of our market research, we went out there, like, we looked at a lot of these solutions, and they're very intrusive. Like, you can never get anything done without giving a phone number or like a name, and I don't want to do that. I still don't know what I want. Like, give me some time, give me some freedom, right? So we also focused a lot on the interface. Like, we wanted it to look different. It's not your kind of usual. You get there, opens up, shows you options, you click. No, like we allow the user to write whenever they want. And we allow the dealer to customize it the way they want.
Very cool. I think it's that the wow factor that was in GPT, right? Like when you have these pre-trained transformers in terms of like their ability to analyze and provide information and aggregate information, right? It's not just an answer to a question, but it has insights and understandings over the question, and is able to give you answers from multiple different sources, right? So it's a much more holistic answer. It's like going to Google and typing a question, or going to ChatGPT and typing a question, and we see that trend, how people now are using GPT a little bit more, or similar product, because it gives them a more holistic answer. It looks at everything. It doesn't just answer the question specifically from one source. It answers it from multiple different sources at the same time. It pulls all that information into one place, and I think, even from a marketing perspective, that's where the trend is going. You know what I mean? Like in terms of this kind of experience, instead of having to go to like 6 or 7 different websites, you can just ask a question in one place. It pulls that information from what would potentially be the review site, and then the car comparison site, and then the FAQs of the car, or like
That's how you retain your customer, right?
Right. So
they don't have to drop off.
100%.
I'm there. I look at a car and like, oh, I wonder what the reviews are on this car. So you jump to YouTube, you start looking at the reviews there. Then you jump to the official OEM website. You want to look at the specs. You keep jumping from website to website. Eventually, you kind of your journey is disrupted. You're no longer there. You lost. You might eventually land on a website that's actually selling the car for cheaper.
100%.
So that's, as you said, like this, giving all that holistic approach all in one place, where like, hey, you're asking, I go all over the internet, get everything you need, and serve it to you in one place.
You know what's really interesting as well is when you said intrusive, that triggered a thought. Like Andrew always says, our CPO Andrew always says, it's like walking into a showroom and the first thing that the salesperson tells you is, give me your name and phone number.
No one does that.
Yeah, no one does that. Like they want to show you the car, and then if you're interested, stuff like that, you know, they answer your questions, they give you an overview, and then they give you information, and then they might ask you if you're interested, right? Whereas, think of it, if you walk into the showroom, the first thing they say is like, give me your name and phone number. You know
but that's the problem. A lot of these dealers kind of think of offline and online as two separate things, when they're, in fact, they should be a copy of each other, 100%. Right? The experience in your showroom, a lot of dealers invest in comfortable couches, invest in coffee machines, invest in like just making the showroom look nicer. So when you go in, like the cars are shiny, you're comfortable, everything is nice. Online should be the same thing. You shouldn't just walk in, there's this very not nice looking bot that opens up, there's a picture of like some weird AI generated person telling you a very fake name and asks you to give your name and phone number.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one does that. And that's very annoying. That's not a comfortable solution.
Exactly.
Most probably people will not engage with that bot, either browse the website that don't find what they want, or just leave. So that's a drop-off point right there.
100%. And I think there's a whole conversation to be had, maybe another topic for the Seezoned crew, is about that connection between online and offline, and how maybe the trend is in omni-channel and what
We're
the trends
there.
are in digital, right? So like, in being able to bring that, anyway, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day.
Not today.
We'll get to that. So we talked already about like, okay, so this is like a pretty, not complex product, but there's a lot of moving parts. So how do you and the team prioritize the features that need to be developed?
That's a very tricky question and very tricky decision to be made. I mean, even internally within the product team, we are always aligned with the business. You know, we talk with the business people, the management. What are the clients looking for? Apart from our market research, to know what's being offered out there, what are the best use cases. We want to know what our partners and clients are looking for. And as a product team, we already have a roadmap where we kind of lay down everything we want to build in the coming quarter or 2 quarters. And then we go back and prioritize based what matches with the expectations of our clients. And we also look at value. Whatever feature brings faster value, more value, quicker, that goes on the top of priorities, right? Like which feature is going to help me retain more people, gather better leads, qualify those leads, convert those leads. I'm going to put that at the top, right? So there's kind of a internal/external process that goes on. We kind of do that every quarter, and we lay kind of the way forward for that quarter to know what we're going to be building. But as every other company, we always have kind of curveballs that come where we kind of like, okay, no, we might need to push this down the line because we now see more value in a different feature, which a new partner or new client is willing to kind of take and want as part of the product.
Or I think there's, you know, opportunities in some areas. Like full disclaimer, I myself try to influence this product's roadmap sometimes, like by making requests and asking for things, like because sometimes we see like, you know, integrations and I think that goes into my next question is like, how important is it in terms of integrating with other systems for AI, you know, to deliver real business value, right? So not only are we talking about within our products, which is the one I'm usually pushing for, but integrate with like external systems, right? So people can use Seezor or have it integrate with their data systems, etc. So yeah, like if you can just take me into like, how is that on the integration side? How important is it? Which ones maybe might be more important than others?
Yeah. So I mean, integration is a key factor of the success, because data doesn't just float right there. Like you have to get it from somewhere, and people don't recognize, as you said, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to product like this, right? Like there's the cards, there's the website data, there's the client data, there's the lead data, the CRMs, the DMSs. All of those are, and I would go on a limb here and say 95% of times, each one of those is a completely separate solution. They're rarely in one. And we have to go out there and see like, I need to integrate with this, and this in order to make this extremely simple action of generating a lead and have the dealer receive it, know which car it's on, trigger an email, trigger a communication to that customer. That requires probably 3 to 4 integrations at once. But to the customer himself, he thinks, oh, simple, I just kind of generated a lead right now. So we always have a lot of integrations as part of our roadmaps. And let's not forget, like we also have F&I, right? Financing and insurance, and that's a huge part of
there's all security stuff too that we work on quite often.
Definitely. That's a huge part of the buying process. I want to know how much this car costs. How can I finance it? How much would I have to pay? All these require integrations. And we always prioritize based on, again, I would go back to the word value, because we know, oh, this system is used by, or has 70% market share. So it would make more sense to start integrating with this system. And then we move to the one that has a little bit less market share. That's how we prioritize integrations. But then again, sometimes you get really interesting client that use a very unique system, but they want to work with that system.
Yeah.
So we go out there and like, okay, we'll do that integration for you.
100%. I think like it's making sure that the right people are getting the right information sometimes, and just making, I mean, like a TLDR version is like, we try to make sure that like the dealership and the people that are working there are getting the information they need in a way that is automated, in a way that is quick, in a way, you know what I mean? So,
in a way that doesn't add more work to them.
Exactly.
Right? I don't want to give you a solution where you have to go and manually
start pulling it from different places.
This is where the lead goes. You're gonna have to go and save it as an Excel and then input it in your. So we try to kind of make as many shortcuts as possible, but shortcuts that keep the efficiency of the product.
100%. And then how do we adapt to, like, obviously like these needs evolve over time? How do you see like the roadmap or what are developments of features on Seezor adapting to the evolving needs of customers?
So we always try to stay on top of the market needs, and we also try to stay a couple of steps ahead. So we sometimes go to the client and go like, we think you need to change the way you're doing something, because that's how
we're exposed to so many of them, right?
Exactly.
So we can see like from one to another, we can provide that value, because some might be ahead in some places, others might be ahead in other places.
I mean, we've had some circumstances where we realized some clients don't use sitemaps, for example, right? And a sitemap is this very important part of your marketing. SEO, it's part of like Google knowing what you have on your website, crawling your website. And this is quite a simple thing, and it's pretty old, right? But as we grow and as we move forward, there are, on a daily basis, a lot of things being dropped. So we try and stay up to date with that, and definitely we get requests from our clients. And those requests are kind of assessed based on, I'm gonna go ahead back and say value. Like, we want to bring the most value. If this brings value quickly, then yes, we're on it. If it doesn't, we're gonna have to push it down the line, because we have more important things we need to develop.
And how do you assess that value, right? So is it like the number of people who are asking you the question, or is it like the amount of time being saved by the person that we're working, like the feature is going to save, or like how do we assess what that value is?
If a dealer comes and says, I just signed up with a new system I want to integrate with. We'll go and look at that system. How many dealers use it, right? Is this going to open up a new market for me? Then I can go to that system and go like, hey, I'll work with your dealers. I'll provide this because I'm integrated with you. Is this going to be a partnership of value? Is this going to bring more value to me as a company and more value to my customer? Is it going to help him generate leads? Is it going to help him retain customers? Is it going to help him show his cars more efficiently to the dealers? That is one part of the assessment. And then again, there are sometimes strong partnerships because we have a lot of partnerships, and those partnerships we have to provide the right tools for them for those partnerships to work, and those tools are in many times integrating with their systems so we can kind of make the partnership work.
100%. And dude, it's very interesting because you always like start like talking about a certain part of like what's going to be my next question, which I love. It's awesome. Like, and it segues in is like one of the things we were saying is like how many markets can I use it in, right? So like, and that's I think my next point is like, how do we scale this solution? What challenges do you see across scaling this solution? Because we know we are now in so many different markets.
We are.
Like even working in so many different time zones, right? Like it's crazy. So yeah, what are the I think time zones is definitely one of them. I think I gave the answer in one of the answers in the question there. But what are the challenges you face when you're scaling this up, right? And into different markets, or even use cases, right?
The good thing, so there's the good side and the ugly side of this. The beautiful side of this is that LLMs in general, and I don't think we spoke enough about LLMs, but LLMs are at the core, or LLM is at the core of this product. It's a large language model. The beauty of it is that LLMs are very flexible in terms of language, right? GPT offers hundreds of languages, and it's very easy to kind of just tell the bot, hey, you speak Spanish now, and it will no longer speak English. That is the beautiful part of it. But then you go to the backside, the back office, and you kind of start looking at, okay, what systems are used in this country? What formats do they use to show? Are they VIN-based? Are they plate number-based? What CRMs do they use? What kind of GDPR compliance do they have?
Oof, yeah.
Right. So we're also kind of getting user data, and we know GDPR is in Europe. It's something very important, and I mean we are also SOC 2 compliant, so we're not really kind of worried about that. That is where we kind of start exploring the market, but the other ugly thing is kind of website structure. We recently entered Germany as a market where we kind of launched with a couple of dealers, and we realized that they do things completely differently there. And most of the countries we were in, you kind of contact a dealer service department to book a service. However, in Germany, there's probably 10 employees at a dealership. Each one of them is responsible for a type of service. You have to contact that person.
Yeah.
You can't contact a department. So we had to kind of make changes to the product to be able to support that change. So there are every day, honestly, every day there's a challenge. Sometimes it's and this is probably, I'll go back to language. We recently started working with a big company in Switzerland, and we realized, okay, there's German, but there's Swiss German, and the way Swiss German is spoken and written is completely different. However, they had very precise demand. I wanted to speak German, but I wanted to write it as Swiss German.
Interesting.
So again, like these requests.
But LLMs are good with that, right?
LLMs are good, but LLMs are as good as you prompt them to be.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's a point like I really want to focus on. I don't know, we're going to get to that
and
later in the discussion.
Them to be, right?
100%. You can go ahead and get GPT, plug it in your website, and tell it, hey, you're a customer support person. That's a prompt. Help everyone that comes to the website. That's recipe for disaster. LLMs are good. They have access to billions of data points, but they are as good as you prompt them to be, they are as good as you train them to be, and they are as good as you limit them to be. Because if you don't limit an LLM, we've seen what happened with Chevrolet,
100%.
right? They had to sell a car for $1 because there were no limitations.
Yeah, for context, what happened was someone did some prompt engineering and basically made a dealership website answer every question with like no take backsies, and this is legally binding, like with like some legal text, and then prompt engineered them to promise the chatbot to promise to sell a car for $1.
Don't put GPT on your website.
Yeah, that's why, you know, and I think the first thing that Nader did was he went and asked Seezar if that happens on ours. But
and that's a part we really focused on. So I mean, I think everything we just spoke about kind of falls into those challenges, right? Because every country has different needs.
Sorry, for context, that's not how Seezar answered. Yeah.
It will never sell you a car for $1. Let's just be sure.
But sorry, I interrupted. You were saying.
No, it's fine. I was saying like there's the other aspect of things where kind of LLMs in general are very easy to manipulate. Like you can do prompt injection, you can do script injection, and we've seen a lot of bad scenarios that happened online.
I mean, even people coming in and asking questions that are irrelevant, using, you know, your GPT, you know, with some advanced
You're just
models.
offering them a free GPT,
for free,
right? Yeah. So you would be paying for
those,
GPT
100%.
4.0, and they're coming in and like, oh, that's a free GPT.
Yeah.
How do I make pizza?
Yeah.
Right? And then you have a free pizza recipe.
Exactly.
So that is a very big part we focused on. At the initial launch, we wanted to be kind of 100% sure that this doesn't happen, and it never happened. We're very proud of that. We spent a lot of time on the prompting. We spent a lot of time on telling the bot what it can and cannot do. And we've had a lot of people that try to jailbreak us. And,
I mean, and diving into and diving into that a little bit deeper, I think for some people it's very interesting for them to understand like how this works. Like there's agents and agentic, and like if you can explain a little bit more of like how do we understand questions and how do we make sure we're answering the right questions, etc.
So yeah, a very interesting question. I mean, agentic was kind of announced a while back, and we directly jumped on that wagon, right? Like we wanted to, and it only makes sense because when you go to a dealership, there's one person that helps you with each request, right?
After sales.
Exactly.
A salesperson for cars.
And that's exactly what we applied on our end.
Yeah.
Like you go into the website, you ask a question. We have the first layer of things where you kind of, okay, let's see what this guy is asking. We analyze that query, and then, okay, this seems like a question for our service agent. So we hand that request to the service agent, and that service agent handles that request based on the knowledge it knows about service. And same thing about sales. Test drives, which falls into sales as well. We also have parts, accessories, and we have kind of this general agent that kind of, okay.
FAQ questions, dealer, opening hours, etc.
Exactly.
Locations.
And, there's no information about that here. If you're asking about something automotive related, let me go and look that online for you, right? So you want to compare a car. Like, hey, I own a BMW 3 Series right now, but I'm planning on buying the C-Class from you. How do they compare?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let me look that up for you. Goes and gets some 3C information from the internet, and then gets the C-Class.
I think someone asked how many cup holders a car had at one point.
I think we had someone who really wanted to buy a car with 9 cup holders. I don't know what they're up to, but like, I was surprised there actually are cars with 9 cup holders.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's interesting. People are asking like Google interview questions. How many golf balls can I fit in this car? Like, and you know that it has the power to actually come up.
And that's what I kind of mentioned back. Let's talk about that sales agent. It really can handle very complex queries, because usually people go like, I want a fast car, or I want a 4-cylinder car, or I want a kind of city car, economy car. With our sales agent, you can go and say, hey, I'm 35 years old. I just got married. I'm expecting a baby in 3 months. I want a safe car, but I also have a dog. And I want to be able to drive to the mountains with my family and our pet.
Yeah, I like to go camping or something.
I like to go camping.
I'll go find
what
a car
do you
that
think
has
is the best car for
100%.
me? So it will analyze all the data that was sent in that query, and it will kind of start working on turning them into filters.
Yeah.
Right. So it has to be spacious, big trunk.
Has to have ISOFix for the baby.
Exactly. You can even say, and I also have an iPhone, so I want something that has Apple CarPlay. You can go as detailed as possible. So that sales agent can handle all that query and return. It goes into the inventory of the dealer. Maybe that's a point we should probably get to. How does the agent get to that dealer? Get to that inventory? Because initially, when we onboard the dealer, we get the information about all their websites by a special solution that we wrote, with a script that we wrote that kind of goes into your website, scrapes the entire data, turns that into a knowledge base that goes into the vector store of the AI, and it becomes easily accessible at any time. At the same time, we have a solution. If we are integrated with the DMS of that dealer, we can get your inventory. That's on the spot.
Exactly what I was thinking. And so the important part is we recommend cars from the cars that are available.
Only from the cars that are available.
And it wears the right hat, right? So it knows how to talk.
And it will never recommend a car. If you are a Mercedes dealership, it will never tell you another brand is better than Mercedes. We are our bot always tries to be unbiased. But to a certain extent.
It knows how to. I feel like it's
very
good at
democratic.
That, right? Yes. It knows how to say like, okay, this is good at this, but like this is what's better here, and it knows how to highlight the right points. I think that are better in the products that it's wearing the hat.
100%.
Even though it's really funny because we have all the competing brands, you know what I mean? And then we talk about each one of them depending on the dealership, depending on the site.
We've created an army of
we
brand ambassadors that don't know each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So that query that the user shared gets turned into filters. That sales agent takes those filters, jumps into the inventory of the dealer. They're like, this fits, this fits, this fits, this fits. Gets all these cars and serves them to the user in a very nice interface where you can actually see the picture of the car, see the make, the model, you can see the year, how many miles it has on it.
This is all in the chat window.
All in the chat window. You haven't left. Right? The moment you are interested in the car, you can just say, hey, I like this C200. I want to book a test drive. You get served up a form with the C-Class selected. You put your preferred date and time. You submit an inquiry, and it's easy as that.
And so, just going back to like, how does that offer value to the customers, right? Or how do you believe AI is transforming customer interactions, right? Especially in the automotive sector.
Well,
not only from maybe a GPT perspective, but how is AI overall transforming the automotive sector or the customer interactions in the automotive sector?
It's actually empowering people to make better decisions, because
all people,
everyone,
dealerships,
everyone,
the people who are building the tech solutions, us, and the customers, right?
Because think about it that way. You can hire someone who's been in the industry for 20 years, a salesperson, but do they have access to that information on cue whenever you ask them a question?
I mean, we saw that some salespeople ask questions too. Because sometimes they don't have access.
They
to
open the brochure of the car. Oh, you want to know like how many liters that engine is? Let me look at that. Or will it have ISOFIX?
I'm comparing it to even a car that's outside of my range, right? So
100%.
someone asks a question like, oh, when you compare it to this.
So empowerment is one of the biggest points. Like, we're empowering people, we're empowering dealers, we're empowering the entire sector of automotive. The second thing is speed. One of the KPIs that we kind of look at all the time is how fast can I get this customer from point A to point B. The speed of answering any query, the speed of let's look at recommending cars. How many minutes will it take a regular person to go ahead and find you 5 cars that fit your need in their own dealership? They're gonna need easily 20 minutes. And that's if they're very quick. We're doing that in max 7 seconds. If your inventory is big. 5 if it's small. So that's speed again. And I think the biggest thing at the end that kind of empowers dealers more is the integration part. Everything integrated under one roof. Everything you have, all part of one solution. I mean, we haven't even spoken about the possibilities of you having your digital e-commerce integrated within your chatbot.
100%.
Meaning, hey, I like this car. I want to buy it right now. this is the bank I work with. The bot goes like, okay, great, give me your name, your phone number. Here's a link, fill up the application form. Do you want to trade in your car? If you do, just give me the details. I'll give you evaluation right now. If you accept it, we'll just submit the application.
Right there, all in the chat, yeah. Just making it quicker, right? Like speed is what you're talking about again. And I there's some examples that sometimes we have AI integrated into our marketing product too. Most of our products at Seez have AI integrated into them. And sometimes what I like in the relationship is like, with the advent of the internet, everyone had a lot more access to information, right? Well, you can do DIYs, but are plumbers out of a job? No. It just made everyone a lot smarter, a lot more efficient. It's empowering people. That is what's happening now with AI, right? It's just giving a lot more people easier and quicker access to information. The internet provided the information itself, and now here we are making it digestible and understandable instead of you having to figure things out sometimes.
We're never going to replace.
You can't.
These agents will never replace actual people, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. We always need human beings.
Yeah.
To help us.
It just makes it more efficient, right?
100%.
It makes it higher quality. You know what I mean? It makes us more understanding of
saves us time, saves us money, saves us effort.
Yeah. Makes us safer even in some cases, right? Because we now understand the information, and it's even harder to someone to basically scam us or something along those lines, right? Because we have access to information and we have it in a way now that it's easier to process. I think that's a big step. And I think that's a segue into what are the misconceptions that you see about AI and overall when we're implementing these AI powered solutions?
So first misconception everyone has, not just in this industry, is that AI is smart. Sure, GPT is smart because it's extremely genetic. It knows everything, but
because it has access to that.
It has access to everything, but without the right setup, as we spoke before, without the right prompting, without the right limitations, it can really be disastrous to your business. People think, yeah, it's easy, just pay $20 a month, get access to the API, plug that in, and I have API. And I think majority of the market thinks that's the way. They just add AI next to their logo. Now they're an AI company because they have GPT integrated in their website.
Okay.
That's the first misconception. Second misconception is that...
and we've talked about why that doesn't work, right?
Yeah. Unless they want to sell cars for cheap. Second misconception would be if I integrate your service with my system, then this bot will know absolutely everything about my business. No, it only knows what it has access to. And I think what empowers AI to help the dealers more is data, right? If you tell me when you are closed during the year and I tell the bot, then it will know. If that's not mentioned on your website, if it's not mentioned anywhere, and you ask the bot when are you closed, it's not gonna know, and it doesn't do magic. We've had a lot of people who thought it could do magic. Right? Why did it say this? Why did it say that? Again, it is prompted to handle automotive, and it's very good at that. But if you want it to handle your data, you have to give us all that data. So it's not a plug-and-play solution as simple as that. It is plug-and-play in the sense that we can set you up within a day.
Yeah.
It's very quick. But it's not put it there, don't add anything to it, and it's going to perform amazing. So we still have to we have our onboarding phase, and we have kind of our maintenance phase, kind of like optimization phase, where we know what you want and we tweak that bot for you 100%.
So which is actually like a perfect segue. And what are the common challenges dealerships face when trying to adopt AI into their ecosystem, or AI solutions into their websites, etc. And how does Seez simplify that process, right? So what do we do that helps the dealerships make that easier?
Well, the thing is, not all dealerships are tech ready, and that's a big problem. Many of them still use Excel, still use probably files on their desks and all that stuff. We kind of focused on the aspect of making this extremely easy to set up. All we need from you are probably two things. Tell me where you are located, what are your opening hours, give me your website, and forget about it. On our end, we set up your dealership, we scrape your website, we get your cars, we take all of that, feed it into our bot, and then we give you a script you add to your website, and you're live.
And that's how you set a day, right? Because
Sometimes less.
we also don't need to build API integrations into their backend because we have a solution that can go.
That
in
work
and
all
take the
happened on our
information.
end, so we spent a lot of time before launching Seezar.
It's all about training it, right? We've developed tools that allow us to train the GPT or Seezar much quicker, right?
Using multiple formats.
Yes.
So we can train it using your car brochures.
Yeah.
We parse those PDFs, we turn them into text, we send that text, becomes data with the bot. We can train it on your opening hours, we can train it on all your locations. It will have also the Google Maps location. You can tell it how far is this one from me. It will ping Google Maps and figure out the distance, come back to you with, hey, you're probably 10 kilometers away. Do you want to know how to get there? You say yes, and it gives you the actual directions. Every single kind of data point that you have can be fed into the bot. That is fully possible. But it's always about good structured data, right? And also that's one of the challenges, because we have had some clients that we realized data is not that accessible for them. So we had to build that data by going to their website and digging into their digital presence and getting all that data, so the bot knows more about them. And these are kind of solutions that we offer for people who are ready to move into the AI world. They want to go digital. If they think they are ready, we are more than happy to offer all the solutions that we have for them.
100%. Here's an interesting one. If you had to develop Seezar from scratch today, is there anything you'd do differently?
That's a very tricky one, because
there's learnings along the way that brings 100%. You to the point where we are now.
I don't think I have all those learnings in my head, because I wouldn't necessarily say I would do it differently. But if I had the knowledge I have today, 10 months ago when we first started working on Seezar, it would have probably been extremely difficult to build. It would have taken ages.
Yeah.
I think the best part about all this journey are the optimizations that we made along the way, the learnings. It's a huge learning curve. And if I had all this information and you take me back to February and go like,
it's been quicker.
Do it. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. I need 10 months to build this.
Yeah. 100%.
So we built small and we started expanding client-wise. We started learning about AI and how it handles all of that. We started seeing different types of dealerships. We started seeing different types of cars, different types of inventories. New AI technology came out, right? Everyone was back when GPT 3.5 was there. Everyone was wowed. And then 3.5 Turbo came out, and then 4 came out, and then 4.0 came out, and then 01 Mini, and now everyone's like... So all of that actually was part of the journey, and I think it's what made Seezar what it is today. And that's why I think it's not that simple for anyone to go out there and go like, I'm gonna build this chatbot, because it's the learning curve, it's the experience, it's everything you go through, all those challenges that make the bot what it is, or better than what it was.
And I think that goes into, now we looked like back, but now looking forward, like what is the vision that's coming, I think, in terms of how are we going to offer more value, how are we going to make it like a more seamless user experience, because I think that's something we're actively working on all the time.
We are already working on it, and it's a mega project, to be very honest, because our vision is we want Seezar to be part of the entire process, and using a word you used at the beginning of the interview, omni-channel, right? From the moment you walk into the showroom, you register interest in the car, Seezar will recognize you. You come on the website second day, Seezar knows it's you, and knows what car you liked, it will serve up that car for you. It will tell you, hey, we know that you still want to test drive this car. You go and test drive it. Now you become a lead in the system. Seezar is aware of it. You stop replying to the dealership for a couple of days because you're busy. Seezar follows up with you. And once Seezar gets you to follow up, it will start helping you with the buying process. Once you buy the car, you become part of the DMS because now you're a customer. And then 2 months in, your service is coming up. Seezar comes and reminds you. Then 1 year later,
it's just an overall assistant. It's like your car assistant.
It's gonna be all over you.
Yeah.
Right. And
in a way that you want it to be, because it's giving you reminders, right?
It's not.
And if you don't want it,
we're not gonna be
it won't,
intrusive.
but
That's one thing.
Yeah.
We're only gonna be there. We're still definitely serving the dealer because
Yeah.
this is all beneficial for the dealer as well, right?
And whatever's beneficial to the customer, like, is also beneficial.
And think of it this way, like, if you are a dealership that has 2,000 clients, how often do you actually go through those clients to know whose service is coming up? I mean, not everyone has systems.
Just giving those insights and that information.
Exactly,
right?
and whose lease is almost gonna be done? Who's gonna want a new car? Who
Dude,
can buy a new car?
100%.
Feed all of that to an AI, it's magic.
I think in 2025, like even for the past 5 years, there is so much data that we have at our hands. I think the limitation is being able to process that data, and that's where AI comes in. It's helping us process this data so we can take place.
The other limitation is the number of hours per day.
Yeah. So my last point, Nader, I think, is like, okay, someone, what like, so we can be a little bit inspirational to people who are like developing similar products, or like, what are the valuable lessons that you can take away, or that you would share with them, or someone who's just embarking on this journey, and is trying to go in this direction? Is there any like key tidbits or valuable lessons that you would share with them?
Like, this is very personal because 10 months ago, I come from a design background.
Yeah.
10 months ago, I had zero. I just heard the word, a year ago, I heard the word GPT. And
2 years ago, no one knew what that was. It didn't exist,
yeah,
right?
And I was like, wow, this does this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you have to have people who jump into it,
I was very curious. And I started...
Curiosity.
Curiosity is extremely important. And I think right now in this world, we have to kind of believe that almost everything is possible.
Yeah.
I mean, humans can't fly still, but almost everything is possible. And using AI, I learned about AI. That was kind of the magical part. I'm actually working on something internal for the company, and I kind of took on this project by myself, and I used AI to teach me about AI and how to build
AI.
an AI. So it's kind of a very nice
Inception.
It is like AI inception. But what I would say to people is, you have a tool out there that kind of knows everything. The only limitation is how much you're curious. Like, if you want to build an AI solution, I would probably start with build responsibly, because we all know, I mean, around the corner, no one knows what's coming with AI, but we're all hoping that all of this will be used for the good. And as long as what you're building serves a nice purpose and makes someone's lives easier, just go for it.
Good stuff. Nader, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And to our viewers, this is the first time I have to do this now because it's important to do this, but please do like and subscribe on this video. We want to bring you
Do I have to say that as well?
From now on, yeah, we want to increase it. Like,
please do that, guys.
Yeah, we want to increase, we want to share more of our insights with you. And I think that's what we're aiming to do this year. Today we talked about Seezar, but we also have like lots of other expertise from across the industry, whether it comes from marketing, whether it comes from some of our other products that we work with dealerships on. So we're looking to just share more information with our community and basically just try to offer some value. I think that's the goal for 2025 for the Seezoned crew. Thank you so much. If you made it all the way through, thank you so much for watching all the way. We appreciate you, and we'll be back soon.
Should we have an Easter egg for people who stayed.
I don't know. Do you have one?
I don't. We should have prepared one.
Maybe this is like a little joke. Maybe
Yeah.
next time.
Next time.
Okay.
There will be an Easter egg next time.
Maybe.
Watch it all the way.
Thank you guys. Have a good one. Take care. Bye bye.